Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. We are from Group 2. For the presentation, I am Munirah binti Rahman Talib and my friend Anis binti Muslim will be representing our group to discuss on the issue of case study for Flight of Fun. I am sure that all of you have read the case and understand what it's all about. However, we have prepared the case summary inside our slide for your better understanding. So let us now move to the issue identified. For your information, our group has identified 5 issues that need to be addressed later on. The first issue identified is the misconception of associate and joint venture. There is a difference between an associate and a joint venture in terms of control. An entity would not consolidate the financial statement of an associate if the shares are not 50% enough. On the other part, every venture will have the right to veto any significant decision even if they have share lower than 50%. However, in this case, the office manager of the Malaysian Traverse Sdn Bhd MTSB informed the Agus Bagus that Malaysian Turkistan Traverse Sdn Bhd MTT was an associate company and it was not material to be consolidated. However, the fact is MTT is the subsidiary of MTSB. This is because MTT is actually a joint venture between MTSB that hold a 40% of share and TGS 60%, where each venture actually having a respective interest in MTT. This proves that MTSB has the power to control MTT, the same with TSB. Second issue is the improper management issue. Conflicting value and unclear vision are severe issues that will lead to improper management, especially when there is insufficient planning on how they are going to manage the business, such as day-to-day operational control and how to make the decision in the future. In this case, both company leaders of MTSB and the Turkistan Global Service Sdn Bhd, the TGS, are not aware of their objective for joining the joint venture, where it actually leads to an inexperienced leader of managing the MTT. There are also no effective planning on the project of MTT, when MTT has never received any report regarding the progress of the MTT. There are no position and portfolio that catered to oversee the MTT and even other MTSB subsidiaries. There are also no preventive measure in finding the solution of MTSB by the director. Next is conflict of interest issue. At the beginning of the establishment of MTT, the executive director of MTSB at that time was Yatim No, and also father to Omar Yatim, which was one of the board of directors in TGS. Omar is the person who approached his father in joining the joint venture with TGS actually. Also, Nurhan, which is the former manager of the human resource in MTT, mentioned that the new boss of the joint venture is the son-in-law of the MTSB director Yatim No. Actually, when all the related parties are involved, this can actually lead to decision making which is made only to satisfy their personal needs. It can be proved because the memorandum did not even mention about how the company will be operating, which actually finally will be favorable to the interested party. For example, a 800,000 ringgit Malaysia was not disclosed in the MTT account intentionally and did not want to care about the project managed by the MTT due to the close relationship. Under this case, there is also fraud issue occur. In the balance sheet, there was only 120,000 ringgit Malaysia recognized under the share capital instead of 2 million ringgit. There was also no record of the 800,000 ringgit by the MTSB, which was already showing that the fraud has already occurred. When there is an increase of the share capital from 2 ringgit to the 250,000 ringgit, there was no audited account towards the shareholder. Moreover, the MTT was not even registered under the Company Commission of Malaysia, the CCM, which was responsible to govern the company and business affairs in Malaysia. And therefore, actually, the refusal to register with the CCM has finally resulted in the company to do the illegal business that can actually harm the MTSB in the future, as well as causing the bad reputation for TIH. Lastly, there is also human resource issue. MTSB was unable to pay staff salary as well as the additional staff contracted due to the stricken cash flow. Failure to pay the salary has actually led the staff to have moral self-value because MTSB has not been paying their salary for the past 3 years as well as their bonus. Besides, there are not enough staff in the account and finance department to investigate the MTSB because the department also has to focus on the department issue. Moreover, there are only 3 internal auditor staff which is responsible for the whole TIH. This is a signal that actually there is a lack of staff in overseeing the internal control of the company. Ms. Goh, the CFO, was not even able to request help from the internal auditor because she did not have the authority on another department. Finally, Idris, the CEO, has to outsource the external auditor, Agus Bagus, in investigating the MTSB. After what I have explained just now, there must be proactive actions that are needed to solve the issue arise. Hence, let the next presenter Anis to explain the details of the suggested recommendation from us. Thank you.
Thank you, Munira. Hi, I am Anis Fidausim and we continue on suggestions for the issue arise in this case. In order to solve the first issue, which is the misconception of associate and joint venture, the first step that needs to be done by MTSB is to recognize MTT as joint venture according to the MOU and not as an associate. From the joint venture recognition, MTSB will have joint control with TDS over matters in MTT such as operational, strategy and economic decision. For example, 800,000 that MTSB has invested in MTT, they can oversee and evaluate the feasibility of the project and any proposal by MTT, what has been done by MTT. Besides, to consolidation, the owner's equity of MTSB will increase as well as the asset due to the recognition of the investment in joint venture. Further, MTSB also need to have a knowledgeable accountant in preparing the financial statement to ensure that in future, this misconception will not occur again in MTSB. So, for the second issue, which is the improper management that can be solved, we suggest them the control structure of MTSB should be improved to manage the risk faced by MTSB and to protect the investment 800,000 that aims for expanding the tourism business at the first of point. As MTSB has a joint control over MTT, there must be an audit committee or independent team from MTSB that monitor the progress in MTT to update the financial status of MTT. TIH, which is the parent company, must also impose strict guidelines on audit for the project by its subsidiary. Besides that, the frequent meeting among TGS and MTSB management team need to be done in determining the operational control over MTT. If there is an issue being unable to be resolved, MTSB can use this opportunity to request help from the Travel Investment Holding Berhad, which is TIH. All the minutes of the meeting should be kept, distributed and acknowledged by both concerned parties. Thus, by doing this, MTSB can keep track of all the project and TIH, which is the parent company, is able to oversee all its subsidiary operation. So for the third issue, which is the conflict of interest, we suggest that MTSB and MTT must disclose their related party transactions to the Travel Investment Holding Berhad, which is their parent company, as well as their decision during their frequent board of director meeting that has been done by MTT and MTSB. MTSB also need to submit a clear report regarding their current and future investment that follow the transparency, accuracy and objectivity of management as an obligation of a subsidiary company toward the holding company, which is TIH. From there, a company can improve the quality of corporate governance party and at the same time reduce the information asymmetry by a related party and would allow the holding company to audit the performance of subsidiary management. For the fourth issue, which is the fraud issue, to solve the fraud issue, MTT must follow the accounting standard in preparing a financial statement in ensuring the amount in financial information is a true and fair view. They must also have an appropriate policy and action shall be taken for individuals that doing fraud. In this case, the suspect is Omar Yatim and his son-in-law that should be investigated. From there, MTSB will discover some amount of money that is suddenly disappearing in the financial statement that finally can increase the asset value of MTSB, which we can see in the case there suddenly has a decline of the asset and of the cash. Also, audited account must be submitted to the shareholder, especially when there is an increase of paid capital, as shareholders need to know what is happened in the company. They are invested in protecting their benefit. MTSB must register entity into the CCM, which is the Company Commission, which is other words Company Commission Malaysia, which is Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia, that proves the company is eligible to operate in Malaysia that can avoid the potential leakage in the future. From there, the shareholder will know everything that happened in MTT and they will alert what they have to do in order for them to make sure that their investment will be insecure. And for the last issue, which is the human resource issue, in responding to human resource issue, TIH should restructure back the MTSB and appoint capable and reliable director to restore MTSB that is able to improve the financial condition of MTSB, so that positive working environment can be infused into the company for long-term sustainability as employee salary are being paid on time. Besides, TIH should hire more employees under the internal audit department in increasing their efficiency. By having an effective internal audit function can help TIH to, as an parent company, to oversee whole company internal control that is able to mitigate the risk of undesirable action to occur. Senior management and the audit committee must consider the competency and the leadership of internal audit in investigating the issue arise such as MTSB internal control. As a conclusion, by doing what we have suggested, able to resolving the issue arise in this case. Thus, that is the end of our group presentation. Hope our group presentation beneficial to everyone. Thank you.